Okay, very nice. Oh, Caro looks like she's doing the class outside. So welcome to today's class. Today we are going to talk about tilted turns. I don't know who of you already did tilted turns before or does know what tilted turns are, but in theory, tilted turns are turns with a head movement. So my head will stay in one place. I will turn, and then I have to get out of the tilted turn again. And today we're going to talk about how to keep the balance in the tilted turn and how to get out of the tilted turn. Okay, let's warm up before we do the tilted turn. First, we have to really warm up the neck because otherwise won't feel as nice later on. See? So in theory, you should hear me and you should hear the music. Yeah? Okay. Let's start with the shoulder. Let's just roll the shoulders up and down. Let's change the direction. Okay, very good. Let's look to the left and right. As far as you can, obviously, while controlling the movement. As far as you can, go slowly, control the movement. Okay, let's now look up and down, look up and down. I want you to do the movement looking down really big. Really try to tuck your chin on your chest, and the movement looking up can be small in the beginning just to warm up a little bit, okay? So small up, big down. Last one. Okay. Now I want you to do the puppy in love. So we're just going to tilt our head without moving our upper body yet. Okay, I really want you to do a actual head movement, no upper body movement as we normally do in Brazilian Zouk. So that's why I call this the puppy in love. You can even keep on doing this movement, but look a little bit more to the ground. So like a sad puppy in love, maybe? If that does make any sense. Last one. Okay, now let's come back to the puppy in love, but now I want you to use upper body as well. So we're going to tilt. Let's maybe use our arms. This way we can warm up even a bit more. And we're tilting the whole upper body. Okay, you can relax the arms. And let's try to make the movement a bit slower and almost like a wave. Just from upper body and up. No hips until here. And your head should be passive. So the movement is coming from your chest. Your chest goes first. So I open the rib cage. I change the direction of my chest and the tilt and head goes last. Rib, shoulder, head. Rib, shoulder, head. Rib, shoulder, head. And while we're already here, let's take a stop here. I want you to look if you have space between your ear and your shoulder. You should have space for at least one hand here. And on the long side, I still have some tension. Let's look for the other side. Same thing here. Space, a little bit of tension. The movement is coming from my upper spine, or from my thoracic spine, sorry, from my thoracic spine here. Very good. Let's change sides, and now from the side, let's go into the contraction and other side. Contraction, side, contraction, side, side, contraction, side. Let's do a complete circle. So we're also going into the extension. Make sure to have some power in your abdominals. Contraction. Extension, engage glutes and abdominals. Let's change the direction of the circle. Keep going. Let me see what you're doing. Nice. Looks very good. Elisa, du kannst ein bisschen schauen. Manchmal passiert dir, dass du eine Schulter weiter nach vorne bringst. Also wenn ich hier bin und in die Contraction gehe, sollen meine Schultern auf einer Höhe bleiben. Manchmal kommt bei dir eine Schulter so nach vorne. Ja, besser, besser. Nice. Okay, very good, very good. I think most of you, so I know for sure from Elisa and Caro that I think you did my head movements course, or at least you did so many classes with me that I'm quite sure you know what I'm going to tell you about head movements per se. Lisa, I'm not so sure how much head movement experience you have, but you did head movements already, didn't you? If I remember correctly, you did. Aha. Johanna, ich denke, du hast bis jetzt noch keine Head Movements Kurs gemacht. Ich erzähle gleich immer mal wieder ein bisschen was dazu, aber ich werde jetzt nicht per se nur auf die Head Movements eingehen. Falls du aber irgendwie dazu eine konkrete Frage hast, stell sie gerne. Falls es dir an irgendeiner Stelle zu schnell geht oder falls es irgendwie wehtut oder so, natürlich immer gerne fragen oder weniger machen oder kleiner machen. Supi. Ich mache mir einen Zopf. Ich finde das für die Ausgänge von den Tilted Turns immer total praktisch mit einem Zopf, weil der dann so einmal um den Kopf herumfliegt. Das müsst ihr nicht machen natürlich, aber das ist ein kleiner Tipp für, falls ihr nachher zu Hause mal Head Movements, vor allem jetzt hier diese Tilted Turns übt, dann finde ich das immer ganz praktisch, damit das zu üben. Okay. English, sorry. So just said I'm doing a ponytail for the tilted turns and the exits of the tilted turns, because then the ponytail is flying around my head and then I know I did it correctly. Okay, let's talk about tilted turns. First exercise I want you to do is I want you to go into a tilted position and try to stay on one leg. And what I want from you is you want to stand on either leg, quite balanced, doesn't matter where your head is. So the normal position would be head is left, I'm standing on my left leg. So this one is also the easier one, I think. But the problem in the tilted turn is that we're keeping the head here and changing the legs. So we also need to be able to stand on the other leg, on the unusual leg, so to say, without losing balance. So this is the first step we can practice, obviously, also with the head to the other side. If I'm with my head on my right, standing on my right leg should be quite easy. Standing on my left leg should be a little bit harder, but still manageable. And I want you to observe the position that feels good to keep your balance. So what usually happens in the tilted turn, and what cannot happen because we will lose balance, is that sometimes I see my students coming too much to the front with the head while they are turning. So we're turning in this position, and during the turn, what happens is this: we collapse a little bit here. So I want you to think, instead of going to the front, I really want you to open your chest, Open the chest, keep your head on the side, almost a little bit back. So maybe not exactly on the side, but a little bit back, not from the lower back, but just because I'm opening the chest. If you want, you can use your own camera at home in your laptop and stand sideways to your camera. You first go to the tilt and then you open the chest, and because of this opening, your head goes a little bit more backwards. Ja, Elisa, genau das. Lisa looks very good. Maybe bring your head to the, Lisa, vielleicht bringst du den Kopf zu der Kamera, dann kann ich es noch besser sehen. Ja, Caro, super. Nee, also genau andersrum, Lisa. Also, dass quasi die Schulter, die unten ist, zur Kamera zeigt. Yes, genau das, genau das. Ja, supi. Perfect. Okay, okay, okay. Und geht raus aus der Bewegung. Ihr müsst da jetzt nicht stiff drin bleiben. Okay. Before we start doing the turn, what I want you to think about is breathing in. So usually when a leader prepares me to go into a head movement, he will usually, if he's a good leader, and I hope all our leaders are good, he will not just pressure me down into this tilt, but he will rather open my chest. So what I want you to do, I'm going to show from the front first, and then we do it together, is to like really breathe in. Open your chest first, and then your head follows like this. Okay, I'm going to do it with you without the turn, just the breathing in motion. Will be like this, adjusting the laptop the whole time. I'm sorry. Okay, very good. My right leg is free, and I will do breathe in, prepare. Okay, 7, 8, breathe in, prepare. The last thing to go is your head. Remember about opening your chest, and I want to have one line from the crown of my head to the toes. One more time, 7, 8. The breathing out would usually be the turn itself. Let's do the other leg. Left leg, head to the right, and breathe in. Head is the last to go. Open your chest. Last time, 7, 8. Very good. The idea is that when I open my chest, I will create space in my neck and protect my neck doing so. And also maybe for the non-Zukis, so Johanna is a salsa dancer usually, but also for bachata, this one goes also for bachata, we usually turn to the side where our head is and not. So when my head is on my left, I will turn to my right. When my head is on my right, I will turn to my left. Okay, so until now, I've never seen someone turning to the way their head is. Maybe we will invent this later, but not now. Okay, let's do a basic turn together then, without the ending. I'm going to show you what we're going to do first, okay? We're going to breathe in, prepare the leg first, then we will step, and then we will do one full turn traveling. So I will do one step, and then later we will go out. I show the other side. Prepare, transfer the weight, step, step. Okay, let's turn to the right first. Let's go together. I have my right leg free. Let's breathe in, prepare. So I'm projecting the leg. Now stay here with the tilted position, open the chest and keep this position, engage abdominals. Now we're going to transfer the weight, half turn, and then we can go out. We're going to talk about that later. One more time. So the steps are easy. The steps are just step, step, step. Okay? With the head, 7, 8, breathe in, transfer, step, step. Let's do the other side, turning to the left. 7, 8, breathe in, transfer, step, step. One more time. Breathe in, project the leg, open the chest, head is tilted, engage the abdominals, transfer the weight, step, step. Okay, maybe you can keep practicing, doesn't matter which side, and maybe I can just take a look what you're doing. Okay? So practice, ihr könnt einfach an eurem Geschwindigkeit üben und ich schaue mal, ob ich irgendwas sehe, womit ich euch helfen kann. Wenn ihr eine Frage habt, dann könnt ihr euch gerne auch entmuten. Ja, Caro sieht natürlich supi aus. Elisa versucht noch länger den Kopf hinten zu lassen. Aber wir kommen gleich nochmal auf das Ende, kommen wir gleich nochmal genauer, wie ihr das machen könnt. Ja, Lisa, super. Okay. One little detail before we're going to do the finish for the head. I always imagine someone is pulling my chest when I do this kind of turns. I imagine someone pulls me on my chest and my chest goes first and my head is lazy, goes later. So if I do in slow motion, and this also has to do with keeping the head a little bit more back instead of falling to the front. If I do this, if I close a little bit too much or my head goes first, I will very probably lose balance to the front. So maybe just keep practicing each side 1 or 2 times more and think about someone is pulling your chest almost in this position. Wenn ihr Fragen habt, dann mucho gerne. Nice, nice, nice. Ja, Elisa, das sah super aus gerade. Ja, Lisa, der sah auch super aus. Nice. Okay. Questions so far? No. Okay. Then let's go to the possibilities for your exit. Maybe you've seen my Instagram post. If not, you can watch it later. I usually teach 3 different exits. Obviously, there's more, but that's the most common 3 exits. And we're going to start with the second from my post because that's the easiest maybe to teach. Okay, so what we're going to do now, let me think, we're going to turn to our right, and I want you to do the following. We're going to turn, and now with my right leg, I'm going to arrive, and I'm first going to transfer the weight and then bring my head up. How do I bring my head up? So that's a really interesting question. And I've seen many different ways how to teach it. What I personally do is I pass just in a very last moment, just on the last step, I'll bring my head into a very small contraction. So normally my normal contraction, if I just do circular head movement without a turn, my normal contraction would be this. But now when I'm doing the turn, my contraction gets a lot smaller just to bring my head up. Did you see this? So normal contraction. So when I finish the turn, I'm staying more up. So it's almost actually as if I'm using my neck a little bit. Okay, a little bit more than I would usually do in a circular head movement. And when I want to go up, I don't want to go straight up. That's a possibility. It's not my preferred one, but that's a possibility. But what I want to do, I want to, like a little Nike sign, I'm coming from here, going into a very small contraction, and then I'm going diagonal up just to put my ponytail around my head. Maybe ich zeige es euch mal auf der anderen Seite, weil sonst ist es sehr spiegelverkehrt. I just want to bring my ponytail around my head. So usually circular head movement, I would do the contraction completely to the other side. Now I'm doing small contraction and just a little bit to the side and then straight up. Let me see what you're doing. Ja, yes. Lisa, du kannst noch weniger zur Seite, glaube ich sogar. Das kann noch ein bisschen kleiner vielleicht sein. Ja, Lisa sieht super aus. Ja, Caro sieht mega super aus. Okay, okay. Now, let's try to put this together with the legs. I'm going to show you the timing for this head movement of bringing the ponytail around the head. I'm preparing, transferring, turn. Here I still stay with my head tilted. Next half turn. I'm still tilted. Now I'm going to transfer my weight. And while I transfer my weight, I'm first going to bring the heel down. And then I bring my head around and up while going into a plie. Did you see this? First, I'm going to transfer the weight, plie and head. So I'm arriving first at my leg and then I'm bringing my head up. I'm going to show fluently. I'm arriving first and then I put my head up. And the moment my head goes up, I'm going into the plie, down. Okay, let's try it together, turning to the right. You have your right leg free. And we're going step by step. Breathe in, prepare. I'm just projecting my leg, still no weight transfer. Engage the abdominals, make sure your chest is open. Now we're going to transfer the weight. Okay, let's do one half turn, transferring to the left. Let's do one more half turn so you can see me again. My weight is still not transferred. Okay, now I'm going to transfer the weight. And now I'm starting the head movement and going into a plie at the same time. One more time, a little bit more fluently. 7, 8, breathe in, transfer, turn, project, and head plie. One more time. 7, 8, breathe in, transfer, transfer, project, transfer, plie, head. Okay, let me see what you're doing, or maybe if you have any questions. Okay, let's try. Very good. So now the weight is arriving first on the leg and then my head is going. Aha. Lisa, vielleicht noch ein bisschen weniger zur Seite. Also ich sehe gerade so ein bisschen, dass du beim Ankommen hier so ein bisschen auf die Seite rausfällst. Ich würde noch mehr versuchen, dieses Nike-Zeichen quasi nach oben zu denken. Also mein Kopf, mein Oberkörper geht nach oben, während ich in Plié gehe, sodass ich quasi hier über meinem Bein stehe mit meinem Oberkörper. My upper body is right on top of my leg. I'm not bending to the right. Ja, besser. Das war super, Lisa. Lisa, bei dir auch. Du fliegst ein bisschen zur Seite raus. Nach rechts. Schön. Caro, du kannst 2 verschiedene Styles mal probieren. Der Style, den du gerade machst, der mir auch sehr gut gefällt, ist, dass du quasi, lass mich mal gucken, ob ich das hinkriege, erst das Bein ranziehst und dann wieder öffnest. Das finde ich auch super schön, aber du könntest auch mal probieren, einfach nur als Variante, direkt in diesen offeneren Lunge anzukommen. Einfach nur als Styling-Variante. Ja, genau. Nur wenn du magst. Okay, let's try on the other side. So we're going to do together first, even though it's basically the same, but new side, new dance. Okay, we're going to turn to the left. So let's go together. 7, 8, breathe in. Now first, I want you to check. Chest open, abdominals engaged. Okay, transfer the weight, head keeps tilted. Half turn, project first. Now we're going to transfer the weight. And while you're going into the plie, head. Let's do a little bit more fluently, slowly. 7, 8, breathe in. Transfer weight, turn, project, transfer, and head plie. Again, a little bit quicker. 7, 8, and slow. Turn, turn, and up. And maybe, I don't know if you ever did ballet. I'm not a really good ballet dancer, but whenever you go in ballet into a plie, you always think hips and knees into the ground, but upper body up, 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 up. And it's the same idea here. I'm going into the plie and the upper body thinks up. Okay? Für mich war das, was mir total viel geholfen hat, diese Vorstellung, dass meine Hüfte in den Boden sinkt, aber mein Brustkorb nach oben will. Vielleicht hilft euch das auch, dieses Bild. Okay, let's see what you're doing and how I can help you. Vielleicht probiert ihr mal die andere Seite ein bisschen aus und dann schaue ich mal, ob ich euch noch irgendwelche Hilfestellungen geben kann. Ja. Aha. Ihr probiert es gerade sehr langsam, was super ist. Falls ihr gleich das Gefühl habt, okay, ich habe das verstanden von der Idee her, würde ich es mal ein bisschen flotter probieren, dass es einfach eine fließende Bewegung wird, weil das nochmal von der Koordination ein bisschen anders ist. Super. Lisa, du hast jetzt auf die Seite, auf die andere hast du es nicht gemacht, aber da hast du den Kopf ein bisschen zu früh gebracht, aber hast du selbst gemerkt, ne? Okay. Hätte ich gar nicht sagen müssen. Falls ihr ein anderes Styling probieren möchtet, noch ein bisschen oldschool, ich sage das jetzt nur so als Zusatzinfo, wir trainieren das heute nicht, but another styling, just an old school one, Larissa, for example, loves to do this one, is going a little bit deeper in the contraction and ending sideways. And then she would only go up with the head when she goes out of the movement. So for example, she would turn side, and then she would go up while coming out. Whereas what we practice until now is coming up here and then doing whatever else. Just another styling variation. It's a little bit old school, but it's also beautiful. Just if you want to do this one. Okay, do you have questions for this technique? So this one, transferring your weight first and then bringing the head up, the advantage of this one is that you're already standing on your leg, you're already stable, and now you move the head. So this is the advantage of this possibility. Any questions on this one? Okay, so this one is, I think, the easiest to start with and to teach. But now I'm going to show you my favorite variation. And in my favorite variation, we're bringing the head first, and then we're arriving on the last leg. Let me show you what I mean. We did until now. Until now, we did this. Head first, and then, foot first, and then head. What we're going to do now is I'm going to bring my head first, and then I'm arriving. The advantage of this possibility, and that's why I like it, sometimes when I create too much momentum, sometimes with my head or sometimes with the spin itself, and I'm losing it a little bit, I can still compensate with this leg. So let's imagine I have a little bit too much momentum to the front. I could compensate with putting the leg a little bit to the front. That's the advantage. The disadvantage is I'm moving my head while I'm still not balanced. You can see what you like, okay? I think there is, sometimes I use one and sometimes the other one. Depends also on the speed of the music, on how much momentum I've got with the spinning. It's good to have different possibilities, I think. Okay, let's train this one really slowly first. The beginning is the same. We breathe in, check the position. Okay, transfer the weight, half turn. And now let's do half turn, but let's try to stay on the left leg. Now, I already projected the right, but I still didn't transfer the weight. Now, before transferring the weight, I need already to put my head up, transfer, and go down. So it's head, transfer, go down. Let's do it a little bit more fluently, but still slowly. We're breathing in, project the leg. Let's transfer the weight, half turn, head, and transfer. So in this one, let's see, the other one we did before, where you put the leg first and then the head, you can do a little bit bigger head movement. I'm going to show you. Variation number one that we did today. I transferred first and I can still do quite a big head movement. Now the variation we're doing right now, where you put your head first and then you wait, you really need to do a super small head movement. I'm really like, really small, okay? Let's do together one more time this side. 7, 8, breathe in, transfer, turn, and head, foot. Okay, let me see what you're doing on this side. Lisa, noch ein, Ich weiß, dass man in der Variante neigt man dazu, noch ein bisschen zu früh den Kopf zu nehmen. Versucht ihn wirklich erst quasi der letzten halben Drehung. Erste halbe Drehung ist er auf der Seite, zweite halbe Drehung auch. Und ich bin erst rumgedreht und dann bringe ich den Kopf. Also quasi deine Brust muss wieder zum Laptop sein und dann bringst du den Kopf. Aha. Lisa, deine Contraction kann ein bisschen kleiner vielleicht noch sein, also dass du tatsächlich ein bisschen das Kinn mehr reinnimmst, statt die Brust so viel reinzunehmen. Ja, Caro, super. Du kannst, Caro, vielleicht ein bisschen weniger zur Seite denken und noch ein bisschen mehr hochdenken. Ja, Lisa, der Kopf kann noch einen Ticken früher für diese Variante. Ansonsten war die Bewegung an sich super. Mhm. Elisa, super. Ja, Caro, genauso, genauso. Tschüss, Caro, die Klasse ist beendet. Ja, Lisa, super. Okay, let's try the other side. Just to push ourselves a little bit. Usually in Brazilian Zouk, I don't know why, but in Brazilian Zouk, we always turn to the left, simple turn to the left, bonus to the left. And then out of the sudden, I don't know why, head movement spins always to the right. I don't know why, but we're going to train to the left either way, because sometimes it's also to the left and we want to be able to do both sides, don't we? So same thing here. We're going to open the chest, prepare the leg, transfer the weight, half turn. Now half turn without transferring the weight, just project it. Now my front is already again to the wall. Now I'm flipping the head and landing on my leg. One more time. And prepare, transfer, turn, project, head, leg. One more time. And breathe in, prepare, transfer, turn, head, leg. So I really, maybe one observation I just made, I really need to be able in this turn to be stable on my right leg. I'm on my right leg, buff. So I really need to have a good control of the vorletztes, was heißt das? Penultimo, the leg before the last one. Okay, I really need to have good control over that leg. And maybe Matilda, for example, teaches it this way. In whichever turn we're doing, the leg that comes before the last, vorletztes Bein, in whichever turn we're doing, maybe let's say simple turn, I needed to push the floor and push the floor. And the same happens here. If you want to do this strategy, first head and then leg, maybe you can also think for this turn with the right leg to push the floor. And then the head is like a consequence of this push. Ja, Elisa, genau das. Vielleicht ein Ticken weniger Schwung, aber von der Energie war das genau das. Yes. Ach, ich glaube, das war ein guter Hinweis. Gut, dass ich da noch drauf gekommen bin. Lisa, quasi einen Schritt vorher musst du pushen. Also quasi auf den vorletzten, auf dem rechten Bein in dem Fall. Und push und ankommen. Quasi während du rumdrehst, ja. Ja, aber schau mal, Lisa, vielleicht hilft es dir aus der Frontansicht. Der Push muss ein bisschen früher kommen, quasi in dem Art zum Umdrehen vielleicht. Ich nutze den Push sowohl für den Kopf als auch fürs Umdrehen. Slow und push, slow. Mehr oder weniger. Konnte man das jetzt vielleicht von der Ansicht sehen? So, um sowohl den Körper als auch den Kopf rumzubringen. Ja, genau, Caro, das sah super aus. Genau das von dem Momentum her. Lisa, noch ein bisschen früher. Also bei dir, was ich sehe, ist, guck mal, was ich sehe, ist, dass du quasi eigentlich schon rum bist und dann den Push machen willst. Aber du musst eher denken, dass du den Push haben willst, um hier rumzukommen. Also ich bin jetzt noch nicht rumgedreht und jetzt will ich mich rumdrehen, indem ich pushe. Ja, 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 genau das. Yes, there we go. Ja, es ist ein bisschen anfälliger, diese Variante. So this variation, I personally like it most because it's also a little bit explosive and it's fun on the music. But in this variation, obviously, we need a lot of control of our momentum. And it can be a little bit harder on the balance. But for me, as I have really fine European hair, it helps me to get the hair out of my head a bit better than the other variation. Okay, very good. Do you have any questions left on this one? Ja, Lisa, super. Nein, keine Fragen. Okay, then let's do the third variation. So what we did until now has all been passive head movements for going up. So whatever we did now, the tilt was passive because we opened our chest and then we went with the head. Then the chest again was leading the turn, head was following passive, and then I was closing the chest a little bit and bringing the head. Now we're going to change this passive head movement into an active one. What we're going to do is we start passive until we arrive in the middle. And now instead of just bringing the head up, what I want you to do is to do a snake movement with your head first to the side. Maybe let's do this one together to both sides, okay? So you're tilting your head, you're arriving in the middle, in the contraction, and now you want to go to the other side with a snake. So you first show the crown of your head and snake. Yes, again. Maybe I'm going to show from my back. We're on the side, arrive in the middle, and now the crown of my head is going first, and I'm going into a snake, and in the end, I'm going to sit again, plie, like we did in the other variations too. Again, from this side, we arrive in the middle, and snake. Let's do the other side, just for the head movement. We're going to arrive in the middle, and then head first, snake. And with this head first variation, let's show you one thing. Here in the contraction, my hair is in front of my face. And now I want to open my chin to bring the hair around my head, okay? This is the idea. So I'm coming from the side, middle, open to the snake. I'm just noticing this side is much harder for me. I'm going to show from my back. And the snake is head, chest, belly button, hips. Again, it's head, chest, belly button, hips. And that's why it is an active head movement, because before the chest was also always moving first, and now the head is moving first. Okay, now let's see how we do this in the turn. For this variation, again, we're going to arrive first at the foot, and then we're going to do the snake. I've seen some followers doing first snake and then arriving on the leg. I think it's really beautiful, but I personally think it's very hard to control. It's up to you to do this variation if you want, but I think it's much easier to first arrive with the leg and then do the snake, okay? So let's try turning to the right. Can you see me? Yes, good. Okay, same procedure. We're breathing in, projecting, transfer, turn, turn one more. So first I projected my leg and I'm going to put like 50% of the weight and going into the contraction. I'm 50-50 now. Now I'm going to start the snake, and while I'm doing so, I'm transferring the rest of the weight to my right leg. Okay. Again, open your chest, breathe in, transfer the weight, half turn, project. Now 50-50. While we're doing 50-50, I'm already bringing my head. And now we're opening in a snake, transferring the rest of the weight. I'm personally closing my legs. I feel easier for the hips to sit. But of course, you can also leave the leg open if you prefer. It's also beautiful, also nice. Okay, again. Open your chest, transfer, half turn, project 50-50 and snake. Let's do it a little bit more fluently. Maybe let me show you how it looks fluently. So fluently, it can look quite quick. Let's try not that fast, but a little bit faster to get an idea of this fluent movement. We go, breathe in and transfer, turn and snake. Let me see what you're doing. Lovely ladies. Yeah, super. Yes, looks nice, looks nice. Lisa, du kannst vielleicht am Schluss noch ein kleines bisschen mehr die Hüfte auf die rechte Seite klacken lassen quasi. Genau, Brust erst, dann Hüfte. Caro, sehr schön. Caro, probier mal mit dem geschlossenen Bein ran, vielleicht. Also nur wenn du magst, aber ich glaube, dann sieht man die Hüfte besser. Ja, Elisa, der war super. Zu viele Dinge, auf die man auf einmal denken muss. Ja, das sieht super aus. Ist nur eine Option. Du kannst das Bein auch offen lassen. So if you girls want to keep the leg open, maybe for stability or maybe just because you like the variation more, you still want to be able to show your hips sitting. So what I do, if I want to keep the legs not closed, because this can be quite hard on the balance, and it also looks a little bit like very girly. Maybe you don't like the very girly look. What you can do is to open the knee a bit. So like Beyonce, do you know Beyonce? Okay, instead of just keeping the leg here, because then sometimes the hip doesn't look as big. If you open the knee a bit more, you have a bit more space for your hip. So this knee is showing to the front and this knee is open. And then maybe I show from this side. Then still the hip looks big. Es sind irgendwie so ja, Elisa sieht super aus. Es sind nämlich so 1000 Dinge, an die man denken muss. Sorry, ihr könnt euch nachher, wenn ihr das selber für euch übt, immer nur eine Sache üben. Lisa, kannst du noch mehr? Du kommst hier gerade an, Lili, und irgendwie sehe ich nicht, dass deine Hüfte hier reingeht. Vielleicht kannst du dein Standbein noch ein bisschen mehr beugen. Also du kommst hier an, Snake, und dann muss als letztes die Hüfte gehen. Vielleicht kannst du dein Standbein noch mehr beugen, damit die Hüfte noch mehr geht. Yep. Yes, genau das, ja. Okay, one last time and then we're going to do the other side. Ja, schön. Das war sehr Beyoncé, Caro. Okay, let's do the other side. I think we have to turn to the left now, don't we? Oh. Okay, same thing, other side, new dance. Okay, we're opening the chest, prepare the leg, transfer, turn. Now, project, 50-50, head into contraction, and snake and sit, whichever option you like. One more time. And open, transfer, turn, 50-50, snake, sit. Same speed, again. Open, project, and transfer. Turn, project, 50-50, snake, and sit. Let's see what you're doing. New side, new dance, am I right? Man hat das alles zur anderen Seite schon gekonnt und denkt sich jetzt so, ja, schön. Ja, Lisa, jetzt sehe ich die Hüfte. Auf der Seite sehe ich die Hüfte sehr viel, sehr gut. Ja, Elisa, vielleicht kannst du noch ein bisschen mehr den Moment genießen, wo du die Brust öffnest. Also du hast ja auch hier quasi so einen Moment, wo du hier die Brust öffnest, bevor du den Rest machst. Vielleicht kannst du den Moment noch ein bisschen größer machen, bevor der Rest kommt. Und dann, das hilft auch, dass die Haare aus dem Gesicht rausgehen. Yes, beautiful. Nice, nice, nice. Yes. Dieser sehr gut, die Seite jetzt. Ja. Caro, ich glaube, die Seite fällt dir etwas schwerer, aber das sieht super aus. Also, falls ich, ja, ne? Aber die Seite, das sieht super aus. Okay. Do you have any last questions on this one? So maybe let me just talk about the leading for the finishes of the head. So how you finish your head can be led by the leader. Okay, so the leader could actually, if you have very good connection, then the leader can lead to first transfer the weight and then go up, or he can lead to first bring the head and then arrive, or he can lead to do the snake. In theory, but you need a really good connection to do this. The leader will use usually a bend of his knee and straightening of his knee to show when to go up with the head. So when he wants me to first transfer the weight, he would leave the frame down, transfer the weight for me, and then he would go up. If he wants me to go first with the head, he would first go up and then plie. Or if he wants to do the snake, he would do the snake as well and use the frame, of course. But this requires a good connection. Sometimes the leader leaves it open to you. I would say in my dance, I do 50-50. In my dance, 50% the leader decides what he wants to do with my head after the tilted turn, and 50% he just leaves it open, and then I do whatever I like. And that depends a lot on the music and on my stability. So if the turn is faster and we're finishing on an explosion, I would do first head, then leg. Like turn, 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 poof, gadunka. So the idea of this one is to release the explosion and then soften again. I would do this on a strong beat then. Strong beat, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. Now, the other version where I go first leg, then head, I would usually do this one maybe after a slower turn, would first go leg and then head. And then I usually would put my leg on the strong beat and up. It's a little bit softer. So maybe turn, 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 boom, ka-chik, chik, doom, and go out again. And the last one, if it's even softer, if we're not arriving on a strong beat, if we're not arriving on a phrase change, then if it's really soft, like then I would do the snake. If I really don't feel there is a reason to put the head up like this, like the song is continuing, then I would personally go in the snake, if I have the freedom to do so. But of course, it depends on the leader. There is leaders that offer more freedom and leaders that offer less freedom. But in the end of the day, if you girls feel like there's one version that you like most, that gives you most stability, for me, it's first head and then leg. It's what I prefer. And if I feel I'm not that stable, maybe on that day, I'm not very stable with the light, with the legs, with the floor, whatever, then I just go out in a way that I can keep my balance. Doesn't matter what a leader wants. That's my personal answer. That might be a little bit, there might be teachers saying differently, but I will always say that I prefer to stand stable. And yeah, that's my philosophy. So that's it for today. We don't have any last questions. And next week, if you want, we're going to talk about rotisserie turns on the spot, but also traveling. And then we're going to repeat a lot of the stuff from the linear turns, from traveling spins and from paddling spins. Da ist eine Frage. Ja, kannst du haben. Und zwar ist das, weil ich schreibe das mal rein. The warm-up, we did it on the set from, I think, Kaka. And the set is Jiboa in Sampa. And you can find it on SoundCloud. And I think maybe the song you were referring to was Sekik Jean-Paul Mashup, maybe. Also das kannst du einfach mal suchen und vielleicht ist es ja das, was du haben wolltest. Ich warte mal kurz noch, bis du das abgeschrieben hast. So lange kann ich aber. Ich stoppe mal kurz die Aufzeichnung. Erstmal vielen Dank, dass ihr da wart. Es bereitet mir immer sehr, sehr viel Freude mit euch.